Hey Stoic soul, listen. You are not here to replay the greatest hits of your youth or to beg for love in the echo chamber of modern validation. You are here because, in this new season of life, the clock ticking, friends aging, solitude growing richer, you feel a strange pull. Maybe it's the pressure to couple up at 60, 70, to chase partnership as if your dignity depends on it. But deep below the noise, another voice, older, wiser, whispers, peace is not found in another's arms, but in your own unshakable presence. Tonight, we're not here to run from loneliness. We're here to look it in the eye and walk right through, together. You reach 70, and suddenly everyone around you becomes a matchmaker. Don't you get lonely at night? Don't you miss sharing your bed and your television remote? Society pitches partnership as the antidote to aging. But beneath every forced smile at a dinner date, you wonder, is this hunger for companionship just another form of fear, dressed in comfortable shoes and elastic waistbands? There's an unspoken script for senior romance. Step 1, join a bridge club. Step 2, develop a suspicious enthusiasm for pickleball. Step 3, wait for someone with an equally tragic eHarmony biography to notice your collection of vitamins and orthopedic shoes. Nothing says aphrodisiac like calcium supplements and an early bedtime. As the invitations pile up, you begin to feel like a contestant on The Bachelor Hip Replacement Edition, where the final rose is a daily ration of Metamucil. But beneath the canned laughter of sitcom reruns and the faint scent of lavender ointment, something deeper stirs. The idea of late-life romance isn't just about hand-holding during sunset strolls. It's about being seen, feeling validated. Society whispers that being alone must be a tragedy, that solitude is a fate to be feared. They remind you at every birthday party and family gathering. Don't you want someone to take care of you? They inquire, as if old age were the world's slowest home invasion and only a romantic partner could hold the fort. The truth is, our craving for late-life connection may have less to do with soulmates and more to do with existential dread. It's the psychological equivalent of turning on the lights after watching a scary movie. Maybe if someone else is there, the shadows will look less menacing. Yet, Epictetus might suggest pausing at the threshold of this desire and asking, is this within my control, or am I simply bowing to cultural pressure and the terror of my own mortality? Turns out, nobody is lining up for that discussion at the senior center speed dating event. The pursuit of partnership becomes a kind of performance art. Everyone dons their best for their age smile, attending gatherings where the main dish is always nostalgia and the side salad is regret with a light dressing of hope. Conversations become an Olympic sport in tactful omission. You leave out the ex you never quite got over, the grown children who call once a quarter, and the strange satisfaction you feel from eating dinner alone and not sharing your fries. It's not that there's anything wrong with seeking love after 70. The real question is whether you're pursuing romance for genuine connection or patching up the holes in your own self-understanding with someone else's presence. Marcus Aurelius would quietly remind you that everything outside your character and reasoning is external. Yes, even Harold from apartment 3C and his very promising cologne collection. If you're looking to fill a void, it might not be a partner you need, but a good, hard look in the mirror. Preferably in the morning, before the hair situation sets in. Ironically, society so fears the prospect of someone aging alone that it forgets the dignity of solitary existence. The most subversive act might not be swiping, might not, right on every eligible retiree, but instead, savouring your solitude, laughing at your own jokes, mastering the remote without compromise, finding that the company of your own mind is frankly quite delightful and sometimes the best person to watch late-night infomercials with. is yourself. So, next time someone suggests you join a singles cruise or asks about your love life, perhaps the most stoic response is a smile and a gentle, "Thank you, but I'm already in a very committed relationship, with my own peace of mind." Because in a world obsessed with pairing off, being comfortable alone isn't loneliness. It's modern Stoic romance at its finest. You've been taught that solitude is a curse, a shadow haunting empty rooms. But sit quietly and you'll hear it. Loneliness is not emptiness. It is the space in which you remember yourself. The Stoics knew this well. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul, wrote Marcus Aurelius, and he wasn't swiping right after 60. The world would have you believe that dinner for one is a tragedy, that you must swallow your spaghetti while staring wistfully at the empty chair across from you. But what if, instead, you twirled your noodles with style, savoured the sauce, and raised a silent toast to the one person guaranteed never to ghost you? Yourself. You see, the Stoics had no problem sitting alone with their thoughts. No frantic scrolling, no desperate text to exes, just the rich, uninterrupted symphony of their own minds. Seneca called this hanging out with oneself, which, let's be honest, sounds like the original self-care night. Bath bomb optional. Aloneness is not an absence, it's an invitation. When life quiets down, when the notifications pause, the group chat falls silent, and the only heartbeat is your own, what do you find? More often than not, you unearth the strange, delightful creature that is your true self. Eccentric, maybe a tad overdramatic, but deeply real. The Stoics knew, to find clarity, you must step away from the crowd. You must dare to sit at the metaphorical cafeteria table of solitude, eating your metaphorical and possibly literal mashed potatoes with confidence. In those moments, you realize the emptiness is just the space for growth. Have you ever seen a potted plant drown itself in company? No, it gets its own little corner of sunlight, minding its business, growing in peace. If you're worried that being alone is unnatural, remember, so is replying instantly to every message like you're on a game show. No one's handing out gold stars for fastest texter. The only competition worth winning is with yourself. A slow, steady race toward contentment. Think of the ancient Stoics snuggled in their own company, writing, reflecting, mastering the art of mental jujitsu. Their greatest insights didn't erupt from a rowdy toga party, but from the quiet glow of a fire, a cup of nearly undrinkable wine, and the hum of inner dialogue. They show us that facing solitude is not just bearable, it's essential. It's where you practice the only relationship that lasts a lifetime, the one you have with your own mind. So, the next time you catch yourself alone and the emptiness bites, invite loneliness to sit down. Offer it a seat, pour it some tea, and let it remind you that you're not lacking. You're whole. And if you need a little help, remember Marcus Aurelius, who once ruled the most powerful empire in the world and still sat quietly with his thoughts because the best company is the one you cannot lose. Solitude, it turns out, is not your enemy. It's your oldest, most reliable friend, awkwardly silent at first, but over time, surprisingly profound. At a certain age, you see friends clutch partners like life preservers, not out of love, but out of panic. Every text becomes a life update. Every silence feels like drowning. But when you start needing another to complete your day, you surrender the very sovereignty that Stoicism trains into your bones, replacing dignity for a companion. That's the fastest way to become a stranger in your own home. Dependency is a sneaky creature. It doesn't burst through the door waving banners that say, "Congratulations, you're codependent." No, it arrives quietly, shoehorned between an innocent double text and the existential horror of a partner's delayed response. At first, you blink twice when they don't like your meme. Soon you're setting up emotional traffic cameras, monitoring their every signal, anticipating that sudden dreadful crash called "we need to talk." It's a universal temptation. We all want to matter, and it feels validating to see it reflected in someone else's eyes. Relationships are supposed to be warm blankets. Dependency is more like a weighted snuggie that eventually pins you to the couch. You start recalibrating your happiness on their mood swings, their cold text, emotional winter, their quick call. Now it's summer. All the while, Seneca is somewhere in the ether, rolling his eyes and muttering, "Memento mori," and maybe memento your boundaries. Stoicism is not anti-love. It's anti-hostage negotiation with your own self-worth. The moment another person's schedule becomes your master clock, you forfeit the tranquility Stoics cultivate with such neurotic precision. Imagine Marcus Aurelius glued to his phone, sweating over a "seen" message. No one buys that, except perhaps modern Marcus, who thinks the meditations are a kind of Greek mindfulness app. It's so easy to justify, but I just love them. Or, I'm not needy, I'm just, very available. Yet the more you convince yourself that fusion is romance, the more your own voice, your logos, as the Stoics would say, gets soft and staticky, like AM radio after midnight. When your friend asks what you want for dinner and you say, "Oh, whatever you want, for the 16th time this week, congratulations. You've gone from independent operator to sidecar." No one climbs mountains as a sidecar. Dependency camouflages itself as tenderness and concern. "I just want to make sure you're okay," you say, through a haze of caffeine and intrusive thoughts. But true Stoic companionship means, "I'll help you row, but I won't drag you through the rapids on my back." Attachment that feeds insecurity isn't caring. It's crowdsourcing your happiness. And as the Stoics might add, the crowd is notoriously unreliable. If you find yourself panicking at the idea of an evening alone, you might be treating someone else like an emotional Wi-Fi hotspot, desperate for signal, terrified of being disconnected. Instead, remember Epictetus's advice. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Your calendar and your soul are two different entities. The former shouldn't dominate the latter. Try an experiment. Schedule a date with yourself, complete with all the bells and whistles you reserve for someone else. Phone off. Best snacks. Playlist curated. Notice the urge to check your notifications. Observe your mind reaching like a dog under the dinner table for scraps of validation. Breathe. This is the muscle Stoicism asks you to build. Comfort with your own company, strength in solitude, and a love so unneedy, it terrifies the algorithms. In the end, companionship is healthiest when it's two sovereign nations with open borders, not a hostile takeover. Practice being alone well, and you will greet others not with hunger, but with genuine abundance. And isn't that the sort of friend or partner you've always wanted for yourself? You know that moment when you pretend to like ballroom dancing or quinoa. The longer you bend to please, the less of yourself remains. Adapt too much, and the mirror stops recognizing you. Discipline is about knowing when to flex and when to stand firm, because what you tolerate at 60, you practice for the rest of your days. In our relentless quest to fit in, we become contortionists, twisting ourselves into shapes even a yoga master would envy. We nod sagely at book clubs, even though we haven't read the book, unless memes count. We laugh politely at jokes, even though, internally, our brain is buffering. It's adaptation as performance art, and the audience is everyone but us. But here's the cosmic joke. Every time you betray your authentic preferences, say, swapping your cherished solitary evening for networking happy hours, that are neither happy nor contained to an hour. A tiny piece of you quietly tiptoes out the back door. You wake up one day craving oat milk lattes and self-help podcasts, only to realize you haven't voiced an original opinion since 2018. Congratulations, you've been gently abducted by the collective expectations of everyone around you. Ransom note pending. The Stoics warned us about this a few thousand years ago, which means they probably saw a lot of awkward dinner parties coming. The Roman philosopher Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." The tweetable version: not everyone has to get you, and you owe your soul precisely 0 explanations. The real price of adaptation is losing the muscle memory of your own likes and dislikes. Like a musician who forgets their instrument, the melody of who you are grows quieter until you can't even hum along. Modern life invites endless opportunities for self-reinvention. LinkedIn profiles, vision boards, CrossFit challenges, astrology memes, whatever your flavor of shape-shifting may be. But discipline, in the Stoic sense, means bumping up against your own limits, wrestling with discomfort, and daring to be misunderstood. Yes, resisting the pressure to adapt feels awkward. No one enjoys being the person who declines the group text invitation or skips the mandatory fun workplace retreat. But sometimes, the bravest act is simply refusing to do the Macarena for the 12th time. The more you water yourself down, the higher the price you pay. The price isn't immediate, not like the regret of eating an entire cheese pizza or the shame that comes from calling your teacher mom in 3rd grade. Instead, it collects interest, compounding every time you suppress your gut instinct. Adaptation, when it's rooted in survival mode, cancels your membership to Club Authenticity. The dress code there? Anything but cargo shorts and absolutely no pretending. The Stoics weren't anti-adaptation. After all, Marcus Aurelius wasn't exactly marching around Rome in sweatpants and Birkenstocks, shouting, "Take me as I am." But modern Stoicism asks, do you adapt because you've chosen to, or because you're hoping the world will finally stamp your invisible passport, accepted? If the answer is the latter, maybe it's time to set down the quinoa, hang up those dancing shoes, and reclaim a bit of yourself. Adapt, don't disappear. Flex, but don't fracture. If you must compromise, let it be with principle, not just for applause. So as you ease into the velvet darkness of this night, remember, your most disciplined self is the one that still looks back from the mirror, unblinking and unapologetic, even if they never truly learned the cha-cha. Sleep easy, you singular, spectacular human. And if you must adapt, let it be with intention, not out of fear of being left off the guest list for someone else's party. Not every silence needs to be filled. Sometimes, the bravest act is letting the phone remain silent. The chair opposite you remain empty. In these moments, you meet yourself as you are, not as someone's reflection. Detachment is not apathy, it's quiet confidence. It's the art of not begging for presents or proof. Picture for a moment the wise Stoic at an ancient symposium. Everyone around him is furiously debating whether it's time to switch from wine to water. He sits, quietly refilling his grape juice, totally unbothered by the crisis at hand. He does not raise his voice to be heard, nor does he tap his cup for attention. He trusts that silence has its own weight, a gravity that draws truth to the surface. Modern life, with its relentless group chats and scene notifications, makes us feel as if silence is suspicious, as if a quiet person must be plotting something big, like a heist, or taking a really, really long nap. Stoicism invites you to reclaim this hush. When your friend triple texts, when your coworker asks if Everything is okay because you haven't replied in 90 seconds. Let the pause breathe. Sovereign silence is the anti-thirst. It's not ghosting, it's spiritual air conditioning. It's choosing not to fill the void with noise, not because you don't care, but because you know that serenity cannot be texted and the soul cannot be mentioned. In sovereign silence, new dimensions appear. Suddenly, awkwardness is just another word for possibility. Your attention, undivided and wholly your own, settles like fine dust after a storm. It is here, in this quiet, where you practice emotional parkour. Moving gracefully over the obstacles other people panic about. The refrigerator hums. The neighbor's dog campaigns for attention. But you, yes you, remain unmoved. A monument to inner calm. Half Buddha, half Stoic tortoise. Think of Marcus Aurelius on his military campaigns, finding time to journal in the lull between battles, not cramming every waking minute with strategic debates or reminders to circle back soon. Sovereign silence is the choice to digest your experience, to gaze at the digital void without arching your metaphorical eyebrows every time the group chat dies. You are not a social first responder. You are the quiet governor of your mind's province. It's easy to mistake this silent strength for coldness, but that's like accusing a cat of being a criminal, simply because it occasionally leaves the room to sit in a sunbeam. Autonomy isn't an act of protest. It's the gentle assertion, I am the captain now, of my own thoughts, at least. Detach, not out of disdain, but out of gentle loyalty to your own peace. Next time you resist the urge to overshare or reply instantly, celebrate with a silent fist pump that would make Seneca proud. Sovereign silence empowers you to listen to the background music of your own mind. A playlist jazzier than you suspected, with fewer requests from the peanut gallery. In silence, there's no need for armor or applause, just a quiet, sovereign joy. People find your calm unsettling. You're resistant. You're too picky. You're not trying hard enough. They mistake your standards for stubbornness, your contentment for coldness. So be it. Seneca said, no one can lead a happy life if they think only about themselves, but no one can lead a happy life if they ignore themselves entirely. You are not obligated to perform panic just to fit in. Imagine the crowd around you, each person terrariumed in their own swirling anxieties, vibrating with a kind of competitive stress. There you are, sipping tea, looking like the world's most serene houseplant. And that's when people start to get itchy. They aren't sure whether to envy your peace or poke it with a stick just to see if you're faking. But you remain steady. There's a cosmic comedy to it all. The person calmly taking life as it comes is somehow the scandal at the emotional dinner table. Sometimes you get labelled apathetic by people who urgently want you to join their gold medal-winning panic parade. Aren't you worried about the future? Why aren't you stressed about this mythical disaster I just invented? But you nod with an internal smile and let them clutch their pearls while you clutch your Stoic coffee mug. The Stoic mug, by the way, only holds cold brew. Life's too short for hot tempers. What's so offensive about being hard to rattle? The world has mistaken noise for doing the work, but chaos is not the same as progress. And neither is performative stress a sign of great wisdom. You refuse to auction your peace of mind to the loudest bidder. You know that inner stillness isn't just a mood, it's a muscle you've trained, a psychic six-pack, regrettably hidden by layers of nervous social momentum. Like Marcus Aurelius, you stand at the center of your own storm, unbothered by the scattered leaves and emotional weather fronts swirling around you. Let them think your calm is defiance, because in a way it is. It's the gentle rebellion of missing out on drama. It's the positive side effect of boundaries. You can love people and still not synchronize your heart rate with theirs. You can be present, even when the noise around you sounds more like a reality show set than a friendship. And yes, your standards might cast a shadow over their frantic sunlight. But that's not your circus, not your flying monkey. Sometimes people will get offended by how unoffended you are. They'll try to test the security system of your composure, tossing you little grenades of gossip, anxiety, or manufactured urgency. Watch as they lean in, waiting for your face to twitch, your voice to crack, for you to join the emotional riot. And when you don't, that's when the magic happens. Confusion, awe, and possibly mild irritation, like someone who can't get the vending machine to dispense the drama snack they ordered. To choose calm is to commit the quietest form of heresy. You're signaling that the mountain of obligation is actually a choice, not a natural disaster. That your mind is not a group chat where every rumor gets a ping and every mood gets an emoji. Somewhere, Epictetus is chuckling, knowing you're finally minding the only business that matters, your own. So, stay unapologetic. Wear your serenity like an invisibility cloak and a battle shield at the same time. Let the world misread your calm for eccentricity. Just be sure to wave peacefully as they spiral by, because being at peace with yourself is the greatest act of rebellion in a world addicted to the theater of stress. And when in doubt, remember, you are not obligated to rehearse other people's chaos, even if the whole world is auditioning for their big breakdown. Remember, love, real love, is never about possession. It is two sovereign people walking side by side, not dragging each other through the mud of unfinished business or rescuing each other from silence. At 60, 70, love blooms best where dependency withers. Picture two old souls sipping tea together, each perfectly content to be alone, but for some reason, happier in each other's company. There are no wild ultimatums echoed through the kitchen. No, if you leave me, I'll turn into a tragic, rain-drenched movie character statements. There are just two mugs, a sprinkle of laughter, some silence, and that unspoken agreement. I like you, but I'd be okay if you wandered off to read your book for a decade. Stoic love, after all, says, I respect your freedom as I do my own. If you love me, wonderful. If you must be elsewhere, may you go lightly and return, or not. Forget the Hollywood notion that true love clings like a koala bear after 7 espressos. Marcus Aurelius wouldn't have had time for that nonsense. He had barbarians at the gates and a day job. Instead, he'd advise, hold your beloved gently, for fate may snatch any of us at dawn. Compliment their virtues, yes, but don't cast your sense of self into their arms like soggy laundry. No partner, not even an emperor's soulmate, can be your life raft in the hurricane of living. You've got to learn to dog paddle on your own. In Stoic romance, you become an oasis rather than a desert craving rain. You give love not because you're parched, not because you need someone to rescue you from yourself, but because you have water to spare. This is not Stoic coldness. It's a garden grown with careful boundaries, self-respect, and a sturdy fence to keep out codependency. A fence, by the way, that you can decorate with fairy lights and the occasional bad pun. Love without addiction means being able to say, I want you, not because my heart will collapse if you leave, but because with you, life is just a bit more poetic, a smidge less absurd. If they walk away, you wave and keep tending your own inner landscape. Love, after all, is an invitation, not a subpoena. No one should get arrested simply for needing a little me time or misplacing their phone for 5 hours. Seneca might nudge us here. The person you love is mortal. Your feelings are changeable. Your lives intersect for a time, then diverge. Accept this breath of impermanence, and your love becomes lighter, gentler, There's contentment in knowing that you are sufficient as you are, and anyone joining your journey is a delightful bonus, not a missing piece. The Stoics encourage us to love with open hands, so the other can go if they must, knowing that we will not shatter, merely reshape. And if sometimes you still feel the urge to send 12 texts in a row when your beloved doesn't reply for an hour, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this love or just fear in a badly made costume? Your tranquility counts too. Love nurtured in freedom, not fear, is the only kind that lasts past the first wrinkle, the third existential crisis, or that embarrassing snore. At the end of the day, real love is a soft place to land, but not a net to trap you. It grows where both people are whole, a celebration of sovereignty rather than a frantic construction site of unfinished business and wild expectations. So, pour another cup of tea for two, or just for yourself. Whisper gratitude. Then, as Epictetus might suggest, let what you love be free, and love anyway. The world will never shut up about what you're supposed to want, not at 20, not at 70. Let it talk. Your serenity does not require explanation. Every dignified no is a boundary brick in the wall of your new temple, the home of your peace. Imagine yourself at a dinner table, surrounded by so-called experts in what you need. They have opinions on your job, your hair, your hydrogenated snack choices, and even the way you raise your plants. The advice rains down in a thunderstorm of well-meaning, unsolicited suggestions. You know what you should do, a phrase to strike dread in the heart of anyone who's ever enjoyed a quiet Sunday afternoon. This is the noise. It is relentless, insistent, and it tends to get louder the closer you get to your own happiness. It's tempting to try fighting the chaos with chaos, firing back with explanation, justifications, or, if you're feeling spicy, a 12-point slide deck on why you don't want to join their latest organizational WhatsApp group. But the stillness you seek doesn't bloom in heated replies. Picture Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, divorced from the din of the forum, sitting quietly as the world clatters outside his door. Do you think he stopped his journaling to answer the persistent knock of public opinion? Only if it brought snacks. To reject the noise is to recognize the futility of constantly tuning into other people's radio stations. Static is static. It doesn't matter if it's playing top 40 hits or the greatest guilt trips of the century. Your attention is a currency, and the market's flooded with cheap distractions and opinions that cost far more than they're worth. So, consider this. Silence is not an absence of sound, but an abundance of space. In this space, your thoughts are finally audible. The universe hands you a remote control. Mute the incessant running commentary on your existence. Suddenly, instead of the relentless soundtrack of other people's expectations, you hear a small, uncertain voice. Yours, cautious at first, then steadier. Do I even like quinoa, or was I just afraid of being uninvited to brunch? Embracing the stillness means watering your own thoughts until they become the loudest, healthiest plants in the garden. No becomes the sunlight. I'd rather not, the careful pruning. Stillness is where you remember which dreams are yours and which were smuggled into your head by persuasive, overly caffeinated relatives at family gatherings. Remember, Stoicism isn't about becoming a stone impervious to life's sounds. It's about having the discernment to notice. Is this noise or is this music? Do I have to dance every time the band plays? Or can I just tap my foot and watch from the balcony? So, when the world turns up the volume on its relentless opinions, you owe it no explanation, no rebuttal, no apology. Your refusal to engage is not rudeness, it's respect for your own stillness. Build that serene temple, one dignified, No, at a time, replacing their noisy blueprints with your quiet, unshakable foundation. The external chaos remains. Headlines blaring and Aunt Mildred's unsolicited life advice pinging in your inbox. But inside, you're sitting cross-legged in a room of your own silence, maybe even having a snack emperors would envy. With every passing decade, you inherit a vault of lessons nobody younger can imagine. Panic is a young man's game. You, old soul, have earned stillness not by accident, but by surviving storms. Your value is not on the dating market. It's in every scar, every boundary, every laugh unshared. Consider the wisdom's inheritance like a really strange family heirloom. Forget a dusty brooch. You carry the patience to outwait an awkward silence, or the uncanny power to not punch a wall when the Wi-Fi drops. Some people inherit weird lamps or an uncle's ironic collection of spoons. You inherit an ability to see drama and, like Marcus Aurelius with Twitter notifications, simply mutter, "Not my circus, not my monkeys." The young believe wisdom is just facts, glory, and witty comebacks. But wisdom is secretly the art of not sending that email at 2 a.m., or knowing how to stop an argument with an eyebrow raise, or the mystical knowledge that nobody really cares what you posted a year ago. You have traversed the wild jungles of career crises, romantic misadventures, and millions, literal millions, of small annoyances that used to send you into a spiral. Now, most things are not the end of the world unless they get between you and a nap. Think of wisdom as a spiritual estate. Of course you can leave money, but your true bequest is in teaching others how to let small dogs bark, emails go unreplied, and mayonnaise-based advice columns slide off your back. You hand down the unspoken art of showing up slightly overdressed and scandalously unbothered. You have mastered the shrug of serenity, also known as the ancient Stoic gesture. This mystical sound, when properly delivered, can dissolve tension in any family WhatsApp group. Your grandest lessons are the ones you don't deliver out loud. They're learned by observing you choose decency over drama, or when you redirect a young friend from instant panic to 5 minutes of breathing, and then, if that fails, to the comforting embrace of carbs. Your wisdom is not just for your peace either. It's for everyone who watches you survive the world's nonsense without spiraling. You are the living myth that it is possible to live and not get yanked around by every petty crisis. You are the incense in the room, the deep chair in a noisy lobby, the one who has seen more full moons than Netflix originals. To inherit wisdom is to become immune to FOMO. You know, you're wise because you'd rather be home with a good book, or frankly, a mediocre one, than at any event that requires both shoes. You no longer offer pep talks. Instead, you hand out perspective like Halloween candy. Stuck in traffic, you remind everyone, this too shall pass. Stuck with a person who will not stop talking about their crypto portfolio, you employ the oldest trick in the book, enthusiastic nodding while reciting Stoic mantras in your head. When you leave this world, your legacy isn't just the photos or possessions, but a map. Footsteps showing how to forgive, how to pause before reacting, how to laugh quietly at life's relentless absurdities. Each wrinkle is a wisdom wrinkle, proof you can side-eye chaos into submission. Your literal DNA may not outlast the ages, but your capacity for patience, your refusal to panic buy toilet paper, and your uncanny sense for when to leave the party. These will echo on in the people who watched you, learned from you, and quietly resolved to live a little more like you tomorrow. At 70, there is no truer freedom than this. Needing nothing, feeling everything, and holding no one hostage to your peace. Some will call it loneliness, but you know it is the deepest, most luxurious solitude. earned through a lifetime of letting go. Do you remember, just for a moment, when needing someone felt like an emergency? The rush of dopamine that followed the ping of a text message. Back then, it was proof you were part of the spinning social carnival. You might have even had a fear of missing out. Not anymore. Now, you sip your coffee and see messages as polite interruptions you can get to when the urge strikes. Or ignore. The carnival is still there, but you're just waving at it from a balcony, wrapped in a soft blanket, sipping something warm, not wondering if you're missing anything. The greatest luxury is the ability to not want. There are monks who spend decades on remote mountains, searching for the silence you carry in your morning routine. You haven't run from the world. You simply don't need the world to fill you anymore. Detachment is not about shutting it all out, but about letting everything pass through you like wind. You feel sorrow and joy, love and disappointment, but you aren't thrown into a storm each time someone else changes their mind. It's the confidence to sit alone in a quiet room and trust that your peace doesn't depend on the proximity of another heartbeat. You might have lost count of the people who told you to put yourself out there, as if you've been hiding in a basket under the bed. Solitude is not a glitch in your programming. It's an upgrade. It lets you witness the endless drama of the world with a gentle half smile. The Stoics smirk. You're not above it, but you are not buried by it either. Detached living is often mistaken for being unfeeling, but the joke's on them. You feel everything more sharply. Without distractions, joy is more vivid, music richer, grief cleaner. You've stopped grasping at every passing thing, and instead, you allow emotions their time and space. Then let them go, unclenched. You become spacious, able to cradle discomfort and delight with the same open hands. Sometimes, you might overhear well-meaning souls fret about your isolation, as if your living room were a cave and your solitude a form of cryptic punishment. But you know, your evenings are filled with your favorite books, your favorite chair, and the pleasant company of your own thoughts. You are your own favorite dinner guest, able to laugh at your own jokes or argue with yourself about whether it's worth getting up for a snack at midnight. The fridge light is brighter when you don't need applause for your midnight snack decisions. What is left when detachment has made the world lighter? Dignity, discipline, and a sense of peace that is immune to market crashes, heartbreak, and trending hashtags. The greatest riches hide in plain sight, as the right to say no, to eat what you like, to sleep through the call from a number you don't recognize, and let the robocallers practice their craft in peace. No one can sell you salvation because you are already home. So as you lie in bed, feel your own quiet power. You have shed the need to collect people and memories like rare coins. You hold your past loosely, your future gently, and your present with tenderness. Detachment isn't cold. It's the final, warm, silent luxury. Now, let your breath slow. Your journey is not behind you. It's here, right now, in the gentle courage to remain undisturbed. The world will keep selling you stories of unmissable romance and panic-fueled companionship. You are beyond that noise. You are a member of the rare kind that knows discipline is sweeter than desperation and dignity is quieter than longing. You have learned to walk softly through your days, not because you gave up on love, but because you finally made peace with silence. So honor yourself for this. You didn't fill your loneliness with noise. You transformed it into sovereignty. Walk quietly tonight. Walk free. Your worth carries its own echo. Now, let your breath slow. Your journey is not behind you. It's here right now, in the gentle courage to remain undisturbed. The world will keep selling you stories of unmissable romance and panic-fueled companionship. You are beyond that noise. You are a member of the rare kind that knows. Discipline is sweeter than desperation, and dignity is quieter than longing. You have learned to walk softly through your days, not because you gave up on love, but because you finally made peace with silence. So honor yourself for this. You didn't fill your loneliness with noise. You transformed it into sovereignty. Walk quietly tonight. Walk free. Your worth carries its own echo.